What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Just kind of talk, get a pulse check of how you guys are feeling, how I'm feeling in regards to this announcement. Look, I like the Nintendo Direct. I think there was a lot of great stuff there, and this has been a topic that I've been sitting on the last couple of days, and I thought, do I want to, bring it up? Because this, and where I want to really go is this is that Nintendo greed, yet again. Now, look, here, where I stand with pretty much all of this stuff, and I've maintained, I think, consistency for a good amount of my time on YouTube. Look, it's your money. You spend it how you want. You're going to have people that say you're part of the problem. You're not part of the problem. You have to support this. You can't support that. It gets so loud and people live in their echo chambers and, live life, okay? Like, you have your money. You do what you want with it. If you want to buy it, you buy it. If you don't, you don't. This is a space for us to kind of chat and people can poke fun, and that's you're allowed to do that on social media for sure. And I think I would say this, okay? And look, I'm not one of the people that are saying, like, if you buy this, you're going to be cursed the rest of your life. I wish, the worst on you. I'm not going to say that, because that's not really how I feel. I don't actually care what other people do all that much with their money. With this game, though, I think I can also say that, and I'm excited. Like, I love Mario Galaxy, okay? Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, Super Mario Galaxy. That is not just my favorite Mario game of all time, both of them, but also one of my favorite just duos, in all of games. It really is. If I were to make a top 100 games of all time, those two games are finding their way on there. They were defining games for me on the Wii when I'm not even that big of a Nintendo guy. I've played some Zeldas in my life. I've played some Metroids. I've played some Kirby's, all these different, but, and Mario games, yes, I've played quite a handful of Mario games in my life, but when I got the Wii, and I kind of had just weird games that I would play on the Wii, this was probably the most mainstream that it had gotten, and I loved it. I remember playing it younger and just absolutely adoring these games. Now, the issue is this is, again, that Nintendo greed coming back up. So you have Nintendo Switch 2, you had Mario Kart, you've had other things that they've done. The Amiibos, holy dear God, those have jumped up in price quite a bit, so I hear. I don't actually own one. But so these games, right, what's the big thing? Well, you don't really know how much they're being enhanced. I think the trailer almost oversells it. And it's probably because, when I'm watching the trailer, I'm thinking, oh my God, Mario Galaxy is back and the movie is called Super Mario Galaxy. We're just winning, right? Then when you actually look at it, what are these games really? Are they just enhanced ports? And the answer is kind of. Is there that much being done to these two ports? And I would still call them ports because not too much is being done to them. I really don't think a lot has happened, and the insults, right, that I think everybody's kind of pointing to, well, there's a couple things. One, Super Mario Galaxy 1 was part of that 3D All-Stars collection. And I've said before, that was one of the greatest scams, not just Nintendo has ever pulled, but anybody's ever pulled, okay? I think it's fair to say, even though I believe the reported sales were 9 million on that thing, and I think I bought it digitally. I really should have bought it physically because, of course, it was a limited edition game, right? There's part one of the scam, but just no, I really feel, looking back at it, that was disgraceful. That was something, but I smile because I do kind of find it amusing to again, it's hey, you buy what you want to buy. I bought it and people did buy it. Do I think it was really worth it? In hindsight, in parts, yes, because it's kind of a rare part of history where it's that just doesn't happen all that much, what they did with 3D All-Stars. But then also, you kind of mock it for how stupid in a lot of ways that it was. So you kind of go, I at least kind of go back and forth. But of course, the kicker, right, is that Mario Galaxy 1 was part of that. And for the most part, you are getting the same thing, except for maybe, I think, 4K, the enhanced resolution, I believe, moving from Switch 1 to Switch 2. People are asking for that 3D All-Stars collection, I believe, to get some enhancements. You're not going to win with Nintendo. They're not going to do that for you, but people are asking, right? But that's part number one, right? Where really you are just re-releasing Mario Galaxy 1 again with very little upgrades. And I will say this, okay? Upgrades that would get PlayStation and Xbox murdered if they did that for more than a $10 upgrade. In fact, even doing a $10 upgrade, I still think would get those two in trouble because it's just not consumer friendly. And Nintendo is doing $40, right? So you can buy these two games, Galaxy 1, Galaxy 2. You can buy them for $40 each. Or you can do your super saving and you can get $70 for both the games combined. Again, like the big thing here is like we've already had like these rehashed before, at least the Galaxy 1. I see a lot of people actually just buying Galaxy 2 on its own. But even Galaxy 2 on its own for $40, like that is rough. And then to sell them both together for $70 when one of them we just did this a couple of years ago, 5 years, but we just did this. That is crazy. So it's like, where does all this lead? I mean, I find myself like excited to a degree. Like I adore these games and I would like to get them in some way. I guess I have them originally for the Wii, but like, and I won't lie, like seeing the announcement made me happy. And I mean, specifically Galaxy 2, I think this is probably the best version, right? Or the best way. And technically it's more expensive than it probably should. Really, both of these games are far more expensive than they should be. But they do exist. They are real, and they're going to get people to buy it just off the back, probably also of the movie. Here's one thing, by the way, just to throw it in. I would have really preferred they make like a third game. I know the rumored 3D Mario game is not supposed to be a Galaxy 3. I think with the movie being called Super Mario Galaxy, I don't know why you wouldn't triple down on it and do a third game of that trilogy. I think that would be the smartest move, but I'm not Nintendo. So yeah, I don't know. I find myself in just a weird spot where I'm excited for it. I'm not getting it. Definitely not day one. I think it comes out the same day as Ghost of Yotei, day before Digimon, a week before Little Nightmares 3 and Battlefield. Like, it's already too packed. I would like to sacrifice one of those games already. And then to add another game is just, it's not going to happen for me personally. So I'm not doing it. But here's the thing. Some games I pass on thinking, oh, well, they'll go on sale. Like for Black Friday, right? Digimon might be, $20-$30 off. You're not, this game, number one, you're never going to get it for sale. Number two, I think when the day of the Direct, I think like GameStop or somebody tweeted that like they do have limited supplies or limited quantities of it. And people were like double checking with Nintendo where it's like, you better not make this but Nintendo never said, I don't want to spread like fake news. Like the word is that this is not labeled in any way like a limited edition game. This is a game that should be available for a long time. It just seems like certain retailers are getting less of it than maybe they would normally get. So there might be a negative to holding off on it. That's definitely, maybe these games have already technically gone up. Like inflation has somehow hit specifically Super Mario Galaxy. Like, will they go up further? No, I mean, to be honest, they're not going to go up to $80 or $90. At least, God, I hope not. But I mean, I'm passing on it simply because it's too much and I kind of have to think through, like, if I really want both, maybe I just want one of them. But it's not in the hopes of getting it for sale. I'm not the smartest guy out there, but I am smart enough to know that game is not going, at least for years, like multiple years. So there's my thoughts on it. It is stupid. It is crazy and it is ridiculous. But I'm not going to go so far, much like I did with Hogwarts, much like I'm not doing it with Ghost of Yotei. You buy what you want to buy. You don't buy what you don't want to buy. Totally fine by me. But I will say this is a pretty silly situation that part of me also still wants to get. I'm kind of torn, right? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.